Today we will begin with partial fractions. Partial fractions means to split a single algebraic fraction into two or more fractions. In O levels, we learn how to add and subtract algebraic fractions. Example: express 5 upon x plus 3 plus 4 upon x minus 2 as a single fraction. Solution: first take the LCM and then simplify the numerator. Finally, get this answer. Now, the reverse of this process is known as the partial fraction. The reverse of this process is known as the partial fraction. Applications. Partial fraction is used to expand expressions of the form 1 plus x whole power n for values of n that are not positive integers. Number 2. Partial fraction is used to integrate the rational fractions such as 2x minus 1 upon 2x square plus 3x minus 20 by first splitting the expression into partial fractions. Types of fractions. There are two types of fractions, proper and improper. In proper fractions, the power of the denominator is greater than the power of the numerator. Whereas in improper fractions, the power of the numerator is either greater or equal to the power of the denominator. But greater power is not in the P3 syllabus. This is not in the syllabus. For example, in this example 2x minus 13 over 2x plus 1 over x minus 3, this fraction is proper because the highest power of the variable in denominator is 2, whereas the highest power in numerator of the variable is 1. Since the power of the variable in denominator is greater than the power of the variable in the numerator, therefore this fraction is a proper fraction. In next example 2x cube minus 1, this example 2x cube minus 1 over x square 2x minus 1, the highest power of the variable in denominator is 3 x cube, and the highest power of the variable in the numerator is also 3. Since the powers are same both in numerator and denominator, therefore this fraction is an improper fraction. An improper fraction is a sum of a positive integer and a fraction. Or improper fraction always starts with a constant. This is an example of a proper fraction. Important note: while solving questions of partial fraction, distinguish between the following three things: type of fraction, type of factors, complete factorization of the denominator. Type of fraction. Fraction could be proper and improper. Type of factors could be linear or repeated linear or quadratic. Complete factorization of the denominator we will discuss later. Types of factors. There are three types of factors: linear, repeated linear, and quadratic. This is the generalized form of a linear factor. If you observe this generalized form, you will see the power of the variable is 1 and the power of expansion is also 1. This is the example of a linear factor, generalized form. Examples of linear factors: it's 5x plus 1 is a linear factor, only x is a linear factor, x square minus 9 can be factorized into these two factors, x minus 3 and x plus 3. Therefore, x square minus 9 is basically two different linear factors. Similarly, x square minus 5x plus 6 can be factorized into this form. So this is not quadratic, this is basically two different linear factors. Repeated linear factors. If you compare linear factor with repeated linear factor, the difference is the power of the expansion. In linear factor, the power of the expansion is 1, whereas the repeated linear factor, the power of the expansion is 2. But the power of x inside the bracket must be 1 because it's a linear factor. Now, this example, 5x plus 1 whole square. If you observe this example carefully, in this example, the power of the expansion is 2, whereas the power of the variable is 1. So this is an example of a repeated linear factor. Another example of a repeated linear factor is x power 2. This third example is not quadratic factor. This is basically repeated linear factor because this can be factorized. Now the third type of factor is quadratic. Quadratic factors that cannot be factorized. This factor can never be factorized because of this positive sign. This is an example of a quadratic factor, x square plus 4. Next example, 9x square plus 1, 3 plus 4x whole square. These are the examples of quadratic factors. You can see these factors cannot be factorized. The complete factorization of the denominator. Before splitting the given fraction into partial fraction, make sure the denominator must be in its simplified form. If you see in example number 1, this factor x square minus 1 can be factorized. So first factorize the denominator completely and then go for the partial fraction. Therefore, this is the simplified form of the fraction. In example number 2, now rules for fractions. For linear factors in denominator, like here in example number 1, write constants in numerator. Since we have two linear factors in denominator, therefore this fraction should be split into two fractions. And since both factors are linear, therefore write constants in numerator. For repeated linear factors, like in example number 2, write the fraction twice, once with power 1 and once with power 2. Since both factors are linear, therefore write constants in the numerator. For quadratic factor in denominator, write the linear factor in numerator. This factor is This x square plus 2 is a quadratic factor, so we must have a linear factor in numerator. This one is a linear factor, x minus 1 whole power 1, so we must have constant in numerator. We can use any constant, either a, b, c or d, but be careful while using the linear factor. These are the examples of linear factors: bx plus c or cx plus d. Types of fractions. Number 1, proper fractions. Cases. There are 3 cases, both in proper fractions and in improper fractions. Case number 1. The denominator has distinct linear factors. Like in example number 1. See, all factors are distinct linear. This fraction can be split into 3 fractions. Like, since we have 3 factors, so you have to split this fraction into 3 fractions: 3x plus 2, x minus 1, x plus 2. Now see, all factors are linear, therefore write constants in their numerators. Case number 2. The denominator has linear factor and repeated linear factor. Since we write the repeated linear factor twice, therefore this fraction can be split into 3 fractions. So we have 1 minus x, then 2 plus x with power 1, and then 2 plus x with power 2. As all the factors are linear, therefore we must have constants in their numerators. Case number 3. The denominator has linear factor and a quadratic factor that cannot be factorized. Now this fraction can be split into 2 fractions. So we have x minus 1 in the denominator and then a quadratic factor. So for linear factor, write constant in numerator. For quadratic factor, write a linear factor in its numerator. Type 2. The improper fractions. Improper fractions always start with a constant and find the value of the constant by comparing the coefficient method. Case number 1. The denominator has distinct linear factors. See, the power of the variable, the highest power of the variable in denominator is 2, and the highest power of the variable in the numerator is also 2. Therefore, this fraction is improper. Since we have 2 linear factors, therefore the fraction can be split into 2 fractions. But the fraction must start with a constant, because this fraction is an improper fraction. Now see, this factor is linear, so write constant in its numerator. This is also a linear factor, therefore write a constant in its numerator. Case 2. The denominator has a linear factor and a repeated linear factor. So since this fraction is improper, therefore it must start with a constant. Write the linear factor, repeated linear factor first with power 1, then write the repeated linear factor with power 2, and then write the linear factor. See, all factors are linear, therefore we must have constants in their numerators. Case number 3. An improper fraction with linear factor and quadratic factor in denominator. Since the fraction is improper, therefore start this fraction with a constant a. See, we have linear factor here, therefore write constant in numerator. This factor is quadratic, therefore write a linear factor in the numerator of this fraction. Solutions of partial fractions. Important points. Point number 1. Always use substitution method to solve the partial fractions questions to make the calculation simple and fast. Point number 2. Get the values of x for the substitution from the given factors in the denominator. You need to substitute the values of x. For those values, you should use the given factors in the denominator. Point number 3. In case of quadratic factor, always suppose the value of x to 0 because the quadratic factor cannot be factorized. So you won't be able to get the value of x from the quadratic factor. Therefore, always suppose the value of x to 0 to make the calculation simple. Point number 4. You have to suppose one extra value of x in case of a repeated linear factor, because one extra constant would be there. You can suppose any value of x, but suppose that value of x which will make calculation simple. This is point number 5. The best value is 0, then 1, then -1, or you can even suppose 2. Point number 6. In improper fraction, find the value of the first constant by comparing the coefficient method to make the calculation simple and fast, obviously. Problems. Question number 1. Express x square plus 7x minus 6 over x minus 1, x minus 2, x plus 1 in partial fractions. Solution. Before starting the question, first we need to observe the 3 things. Number 1, the type of fraction. In this case, the fraction is proper because the highest power of the variable in denominator is 3, whereas the highest power in the numerator is 2. Therefore, the fraction is proper. Number 2, we have to observe the factors. Since all factors are linear, therefore we can use constants in their numerator. Complete factorized form. The fraction must be in its complete factorized form. This fraction is already in its completely factorized form. Now we can start the solution. Since all factors are linear, therefore this fraction, and there are 3 factors, so the fraction can be split into 3 fractions, and we must have constants in their numerator, a, b and c. While substituting the values of x, we need the values of x. Basically, we need the values of x for the substitution. So we can get the values of x from the denominator. See, this factor is x minus 1, so the value of x is 1. This is x minus 2, so the value of x is 2. And this is x plus 1, therefore the value of x is minus 1. These 3 values will be used for the values of the unknown constants a, b and c. Well, for the values of the constants a, b and c, we have to eliminate the fractions from both the sides. For that, we have to multiply both sides by this denominator. Hence, multiplying throughout by this denominator, we have x square plus 7x minus 6 a x minus 2 x plus 1 b x minus 1 x plus 1 c times x minus 1 x minus 2. Now we have eliminated the fractions from both the sides. Now substitute the values of x one by one to get the values of the unknown constants a, b and c. So first I'm going to substitute x1. So when we will substitute x1 on both the sides, we will get 1 plus 7 minus 6 on left side. On right side we have x minus 2, so 1 minus 2, 1 plus 1 makes 2. Since we have x minus 1 is here, therefore we'll get 0, and the last term is also 0. Therefore we have 2 on left side and negative 2a on right side. Therefore the value of a will be negative 1. Now substitute the value of x2. So we have on left side we have 12. First term will be 0, the second term will be 3b, and the last term will be 0. Therefore the value of b will be 4. For the last constant, which is c, substitute the last value of x, which is x minus 1. So when we will substitute x minus 1 on left side, we'll get minus 12, and on right side we'll get 0 plus 0 plus 6c. Therefore we have c is negative 2. After finding the values of a, b and c, substitute all the values into equation number 1. So we have x square minus 6 over x plus 1, x minus 2, x minus 1. The original fraction was a plus b plus c. The denominator was x minus 1, then x minus 2, and then x plus 1. Now substitute the values of a, b and c into this fraction. So a is minus 1, so minus 1 upon x minus 1, b is positive 4, whereas c is negative 2. This is the final answer of the question. Example number 2. Express 4 plus 5x upon x square 1 minus 2x over 2 plus x square in partial fractions. Number 1, observe the fraction. Since the power of the variable in denominator is cube and the highest power of the variable in numerator is 2, therefore this fraction is a proper fraction. Number 2, factors. There are 2 types of factors in denominator. The first factor is linear and the second factor is quadratic. The second factor is repeated linear. It's 2 plus x whole square, 2 plus x whole square. So we have linear and a repeated linear factor in the denominator. Now observe the denominator carefully. The denominator must be in its simplified form. In this case, it is. Let's start the solution of this example number 2. This fraction can be split into 3 fractions because of the repeated linear factor. So we have 1 minus 2x, 2 plus x power 1, and then 2 plus x power 2, because we write the repeated linear factor twice. Since all the factors are linear, therefore we must have constants in their numerator. Now for the values of a, b and c, the unknown constants, we have to substitute the values of x. For the substitution, we have to find the values of x from the denominator. So the first value is half, the second value is -2. We need one more value. In case of repeated linear factor, we always suppose one extra value of x. So we can suppose x0 for the unknown constant, third unknown constant. Now eliminate the fraction from both the sides. For that, multiplying throughout by this denominator, 1 minus 2x 2 plus whole x square. So we have 4 plus 5x minus x square. On right side we have a 2 plus x whole square, b 2 plus x bracket 1 minus 2x, and with c we have 1 minus 2x. Well, substitute x minus 2 first. You can also substitute half. When we substitute x minus 2 on left side, we have minus 10 on left side, and on right side we have 5c. Therefore the answer of c will be -2. Now substitute x half. So when we will substitute x half, we will get 25 upon 4 on the left side, and on right side we have 25 upon 4 with a. Therefore the answer of a will be 1. Let's substitute x0 for the last constant. So when we will substitute x0, we have 4 on left side, on right side we have 2b plus 2. Therefore the answer of b will be 1. Now substitute the constants, the values of the constants a, b and c into equation number 1. So we have 4 plus 5x minus x square over 1 minus 2x 2 plus x whole square, 1 upon 1 minus 2x, 1 upon 2 plus x, and -2 upon 2 plus x whole square. That's the final answer of the partial fraction. Now the third example. Express 5x minus x square over 1 plus x and 2 plus x square in partial fractions. Since we have two factors in denominator, the first one is linear and the second one is non-linear quadratic. Therefore this fraction can be split into two fractions, 1 plus x and 2 plus x power 2. The first factor is linear, so write constant in its numerator, and the second factor is non-linear, or in fact quadratic factor. Therefore write a linear factor in the numerator of this fraction and say this entire thing as equation number 1. For the values of the unknown constants a, b and c, we need the values of x for the substitution. From this bracket we have x minus 1. From this bracket we will not get the value of x because this factor cannot be factorized. So always suppose 0 for quadratic factor. The value from the quadratic factor will always be 0 to make the calculation simple. For the last constant, you can suppose any value of x, but suppose that value which will make the calculation simple. So I am supposing 1. See, we have 3 unknowns. Now we have 3 values of x. Now multiplying both sides by this denominator, 1 plus x 2 plus x square, we have 5x minus x square on left side. On right side we have 2 plus x square bracket bx plus c times 1 plus x. Be careful while substituting the values of x in this type of question where we have quadratic factor. The order of the substitution is very important. First, substitute this value minus 1. You suppose x 0, you did not get this value from the factor. So then substitute this value which you suppose, and then you substitute this value. So always substitute the values in this order. First substitute minus 1, which is the value of x you got from the linear factor. So this is the number 1. Then you suppose 0 from the quadratic factor, then you have to put 2, and finally you have to substitute 1. Therefore substitute the values of x in this order to make the calculation simple and fast. Alright, I'm going to substitute minus 1. So when we will substitute minus 1, we have minus 6 on left side, and on right side we have 3a. Therefore the value of a will be negative 2. Now substitute x 0. So when we will substitute x 0, we'll get 0 on left side and minus 4 plus c on right side. Therefore the value of c will be 4. Now substitute the third value of x, which was 1. So when we will substitute 1, we'll get 4 on left side and 2b plus 2 on the right side. Therefore the value of b will be 1. Now substitute the values of a, b and c into the equation number 1. So we have minus 2 over 1 plus x plus 4, 2 plus x whole square. On left side we have 5 minus x square, 1 plus x, 2 plus x square. That's the final answer of this partial fraction. Questions of improper fractions will be discussed in the video number 2, and the question of partial fraction with binomial theorem will be discussed in the video number 3. Allah Hafiz.